What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday evening. And this is the FTN Network live stream of the NFFC Online Championship. $350 OC is what we call it. And it's a very special night. It's Midnight Madness draft. It's a Beat RotoGut League. RotoGut is me. And I'm joined here by our very newest member of the FTN team. A lot of you know him. In case you don't, you will soon. At MJ Govier on Twitter, Mr. Michael Govier. What's going on, Michael?
Vlad, this is so exciting. I feel like a kid right now. I've had some butterflies in the stomach, and I really don't ever get that anymore. Not that I take any of my streams or any of my opportunities for granted, but I'm really excited. This is a big night for me, even if it's midnight and half the people are out there partying right now. Those of you that are here are in for a treat.
The good thing is people on Twitter, our friends, people aren't out right now. They're either they're doing their little best ball drafts, or they're just hanging out watching Netflix, or they're watching the stream, hopefully, because we've got a draft of myself and 11 other folks in this NFFC competition. If you don't know, it's play.nffc.com. If that's incorrect, I will update that in a bit. But basically, this is going to be a PPR draft. For those who don't know, it's a third round reversal. So at the end of the second round, the draft flips, and it's 6 points per rushing touchdown. And so hopefully enjoy it. I've got the 10 pick here. We have the names hidden. If somebody wants to come out and admit who they are and let us know who you are, please by all means go ahead. But I don't want to out anyone specifically. And if you do want to know, one person that is okay with it is FTN sub Trevor Tipton. I believe it's at FCCU later. He's got a team that's called Vlad's Going Down, and he's picking at Team 5.
Ooh. Gauntlet's been thrown down, Vlad. You are a marked man.
Yeah, I'm a marked man. I know we've got some colleagues that are even, that are really good players. Obviously, everybody knows Nelson Souza. Michael and Nelson are going to be doing some live streams in the future for this specific contest where you can see Nelson draft. I think I'm a pretty good drafter, a pretty good competitor. Nelson's just like on the next level. So
really?
We're going to do our best here, pick 10. And draft starting here in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
I was going to say 2 hours. Woo! You are what? It's not even midnight your time. You're just getting started. I'm 8 minutes to midnight on the East Coast. Yes, I'm in Michigan. Michigan's in the East Coast. Most people don't know that. Whenever they ask me, where are you? We're on the tail end over there. So we got football galore. I'm so stoked to see how this draft plays out, Vlad. This will be my first draft observation of the 2022 season. I've done a few drafts, but I haven't been able to sit back and kind of see how a board plays out in real time.
Yeah, and I know that I'd shared a couple of my boards with you just to kind of see all the the different colors, the positions, and just kind of the way that these drafts shake out. Obviously, there's a $250,000 prize on the line, grand prize. About 35 to 4,000 teams are going to end up being in this overall contest. First and second place receive prizes, but really it's all about that overall. And so a lot of us are just drafting. Nelson actually said it best in a tweet today. My Jarvis Landry 7 for 45 yards. Hey, that's great and all, but I'm shooting for the upside. So you see a lot of these sharks, a lot of these sharp drafters, they are drafting and trying to smash with the upside picks. You'll see ADP completely thrown out the window, and all kinds of havoc ensues usually.
Oh, man, that is so exciting. You're giving me fun. Really pumped up here. And just to be clear, I see some of you in the chat, which you guys can comment on the live stream anytime you want. Jay Eldridge, I know, Jay, what's up? He says, you not in this mock mic? It's not a mock. This is a real deal. This is an actual draft, my friend. So let's make that clear. No mocks.
No mocks, yeah. No mocks, no moss. No.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this will play out. The KDS is such a fascinating topic. I never learned about it until I first started playing fantasy baseball on NFFC about 3 years ago. And now I can't imagine a world without KDS. And it's so important to see how each year the KDS changes ever so slightly depending on what we got going on with a greater percentage of running back opportunities, wide receiver opportunities, etc.
Yeah, it's KDS is really a wonderful tool and a nuance, very nice little niche here for NFFC. I actually love it to be able to set my my KDS preference, and of course it runs automatically. But
Boom!
yep, we're live. The draft is on. But yeah, KDS is great. I set my picks here towards the end. And I ended up getting a 10 spot. So I was happy with it. Yesterday, I did one of these drafts, landed a 3 spot and got Christian McCaffrey. But nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about this little feature. So I'm sorry. If you are trying to be incognito, unfortunately, your name will pop up when your pick is made. So just, unfortunately, if you're going to be in a draft with Vlad on a live stream, it's you're going to be outed. So if you have secret picks, this may not be the draft to do
it. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Not your fault.
Yeah. This is not on me, folks. I'm new here. What do I know? Come on.
Well, all right. I guess we can say actually Sam Chowdhury is one of our colleagues, really sharp guy. Used to write for PFF. He's a high stakes player, plays in the Thunderdome and DFS and football, and he's part of the FTN team. He'll be writing a lot of things for fantasy, for the FTN fantasy site and for daily as well. He's pick 3, I believe, in this draft. Oh no, he's 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, FYI, Sam, sorry I added you, buddy, but here you are.
And we're going to be using ADP from the last 2 days. Okay, so NFFC ADP just over the last 8 drafts or so from 48 hours. So if you want to follow along, you can go to NFFC's website and check out the ADP. Just make sure you update it from August 4th to today.
Yeah. So they're about 8. Oh, I'm about to be on the clock here. Just run people down. Obviously, you can see a lot of green on the board here. A pretty standard board so far. I would have been looking at Saquon Barkley at pick 10. He is already gone. We've already seen his move up like the Jeffersons from the second round up to the first.
Well, moving on up.
Moving on up. So
that was the time.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? When you give me, you don't look a roto gift horse in the mouth. So Dalvin Cook, it is. He is one of my favorite players. One of the reasons why I go with the back end pick. That is going to be my pick. So pick 10. Dalvin
Love
Cook,
it.
Stay healthy, baby.
I love it. I just did the satellite for the fishbowl. I didn't sign up for the fishbowl. I blew it. I was in a satellite last year, so I had to settle for another satellite this year. But Dalvin Cook was my guy. I took him my first pick right around the same spot. I had pick. Yeah, I did. I picked 10. That's weird. Well, what a random coincidence that is. I love Dalvin Cook this year. PPR, too. The guy can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can do it all. It's just the injuries crop up from time to time. But this offense in Minnesota this year is going to be unleashed. It's going to be epic. I'm all in on this Minnesota offense.
Yeah, and, I think I saw something, a funny thing with the last year's coach and Kirk Cousins getting into it a little bit. But yeah, Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen, the guy's like almost 45 years old, whatever. KJ Osborne coming on. Irv Smith should be ready by week 1. He's got, I think, thumb surgery prior to the draft. I'm up for a second pick, and this is just lining up like I don't want to say taking candy from a baby because these are all fantastic picks here. But on my map out sheet, I map out all 20 rounds of targets per position of who I'm looking for and what I want to get. And I was really hoping for 2 of Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, or Devontae Adams or DeAndre Swift in my first 2 picks. So I'm going to be able to pull that off. This is going to be my 3rd of 6 DeAndre Swift. So I'm kind of heavily exposed. I could have gone Mixon here potentially or Lamb, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go with your boy. You, I think everyone knows, big Detroit Lions fan.
Whoa. Yeah. That is hilarious, Vlad. I don't know how to describe myself anymore. Yes, I'm born and raised in Detroit. I've witnessed a lot of misery in Detroit, but DeAndre Swift is a bright light and an actually pretty optimistic future for what Detroit has. Brad Holmes is a guy I trust right now, and once Jared Goff moves on and we have a real quarterback, the Lions are going to be a real threat, and DeAndre Swift's going to be a bigger part of that more than ever this year. I think that's a great pick. I would go Cook, Swift back-to-back at your spot all day long.
Yeah, man. I mean, just again, with these 2 guys, if they stay healthy, I think earning first-round value is going to be really, really solid. Obviously, since you're outed, sorry, Bob Carmatola, who I had as my guest on the FTN Fantasy Baseball podcast. He was, he might still be at this moment, first overall in baseball main event. A lot of money at stake there as well. Bob Kramatola, really solid guy, and he's off to a hot start. Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, that's a nice combination there. And by the way, and you and I were talking about this before the show, Alvin Kamara, because of concern of the suspension, of course, which now looks like it might be delayed even more, his ADB has been moving up tremendously. He was a third rounder this time 2-3 weeks ago. Now an easy middle of the second.
Ooh, yeah, I was going to say, there is a guy that I love his talent. We all know how talented he is. And never forget that 5-touchdown game he had a couple years ago. But I've been concerned with the suspension and what to expect in New Orleans this year. I think New Orleans is a fascinating topic of discussion for all people who are into fantasy football because Sean Payton was such a maestro. He was, even if he threw the ball a bit too much sometimes, you trusted Sean Payton and you knew what you were going to get out of that offense. I don't know how much is going to change with Dennis Allen in charge now and Jameis Winston coming back off ACL surgery.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they add Christian Olave, who's a stud rookie. He's already looking phenomenal in camp. Add him with a hopefully healthy Michael Thomas, no ankle issues.
So good.
I think with Michael Thomas, it's really just kind of keeping his head on straight and motivating. And you don't want to see him kind of walk off like Antonio Brown, take off his jersey and just kind of run off the field, call it a career. You want to see another good year if you're spending your 5th round pick on him. So. Obviously, Alvin Kamara there, a season out of Jameis Winston. It's a very intriguing team for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, and they brought in Jarvis Landry too, as we talked about. He's got some options there, Winston. I think he's got sneaky value down the road. But if we talk about this guy who just was taken momentarily ago, Javonte Williams, right around where he's been going lately. So is it a concern, though? I mean, he could be in a timeshare. He might not. I'm very, very cautious about drafting him because I know the talent's there. I'm just worried about the situational opportunities and getting enough touches where he's worth 2nd-round value right now.
Yeah, this was an interesting discussion I had on Twitter with, if you guys know James McCool, Pretty McCool Cat, who does a lot of data analytics. And he was talking to, he was very matter of fact. He was like, Javonte Williams is not worth the 2nd-round pick. And I was basically saying like, well, yes, everything basically has to go perfect for him. It might have to involve Melvin Gordon not being, getting hurt or not being used as much. I think everyone knows the talent Javonte Williams is. If there was no Melvin Gordon or there was some other secondary back on that team that wasn't as, solid and as motivated, you might be looking at a lot better opportunity there of Javonte Williams earning a 2nd-round pick. But the what I do know is the coach staff loves Melvin Gordon. He's off to a great start in camp. He works hard. He makes his blocks. He does everything right. Scores touchdowns too. He was actually more efficient than Javonte in his rookie year last year. If you're looking at yards per carry and yards per reception last season. Granted, the talent of Javonte Williams with no Melvin Gordon there would be easy 1st-round type of guy, but Melvin is in the mix, and that's why it is a little bit of a difficult pick there at the end of the second.
Well, Vlad's on the clock now, and for those of you who are not familiar, the 3rd-round reversal is officially in progress. So right. I assumed you were paying attention, but that's why I brought it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm in a tough spot because there's a smash running back. If I really wanted to go nuts, I try not to go too extreme, that I would absolutely love here, but I might just play it safe and take, like a best receiver off the board. Man, this is tough.
What will he do, folks?
I'm gonna go gut here. I
really
love AJ Brown. I'm gonna go ahead and take him here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. I know some people are off the Philly offense, and I'll tell you in a second after these picks are made. I don't want to influence the draft much, but I'll tell you in a second what I was thinking about there.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everybody who's commenting on the live stream, we love it. I see a bunch of you in there saying, hey, Govier, what's up? Nate Markham, how you doing? Great to see you here. We've got, if Cook stays healthy, LOL, I'll take Madison in later rounds. Yeah, Jamie, that's very possible. But yeah, it's the Govier pilot episode, says Joe Orico. Joe, thank you very much for that. Yes, it is the Govier pilot episode.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yes. So yeah, but it's a pilot we're going forward with. You know what I mean? Sometimes you cancel pilots after this.
We've ordered up a lot of episodes, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, unless you have like a complete what's it called? You just like rip this draft board in half and curse out all the people that are drafting here. But I don't think that's happening.
I don't think that's happening either.
Yeah, and I just actually pulled up the YouTube as well. So here we go. I got it, and I got it on mute. So now, cool. I can see the comments too.
Mm.
So,
Okay, go ahead, please.
no, I was just gonna say I was really looking hard at Travis at ATN there. It really would have been overkill, and then I would have had to hit the receivers really hard. It may have been the right move. Who really knows what the right move is until the season is over? I know my colleague Nelson don't want to give away too much of what he likes, but I have seen him draft because we want people to come on in and get that FTN Platinum package, which includes the high stakes, where you get everything from Nelson, including his fade list and do not draft list. But I have seen him draft Michael Pittman there in a couple spots, so obviously a big fan of him as well. And then who else was it? There was another receiver I was interested in. T. Higgins. T. Higgins was interesting as well. There's really no reason not to love T. Higgins, and that's a good spot for him as well. But I'm just kind of feeling AJ Brown this year. I think you don't pick up a player like that to just continue to be a run first team. I think Jalen Hurts takes a step up this season.
Really?
Devontae Smith there involved. You got a double punch running game with Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. I think they're phenomenal. So I'm all in on AJ Brown, and I think he's going to be a top 4 wideout this season.
I think a lot of people, recency bias could just really mess up a lot of point of views and dispositions, folks. Yep. Don't let it happen to you. PSA, public announcement here. Don't get caught up in recency bias. The last thing you remember of Jalen Hurts was that not great playoff outing against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Forget about that. That's one playoff game against a team that was built to beat that team defensively. Yeah. So just forget that.
Yeah, it's the Bucks, man. You kind of get a pass there, especially you're a young kid in the playoffs, so it makes sense. But and again, we're talking about fantasy points here, right? I mean, how many running backs that you're looking at that could potentially? First of all, you have weapons like that, and you have running backs in the pass game who are also solid, and you have a guy that could potentially run for 800 plus yards and give you 8+ touchdowns. So a lot of good there, I think, with this offense. I'm a big fan of the Philadelphia offense this season.
I'm incomplete. I really don't know what it'll become because of the quarterback situation. That's it. That's my only worry there. But I like the foundation they have, and they got a lot of veterans on defense too. It's a fun team. They want to open it up a bit more, and Jalen gets more opportunities. That'll be exciting. There goes Jalen Waddle, by the way. Speaking of players that I love this year, he is a fun guy because Miami has a whole new world. Tyreek Hill already went. So we have 2 Dolphins receivers that went over the last round or so. Is it obvious to you that Tyreek Hill will just be who he always is? Or do you think that Mahomes was also part of that? Because he didn't create his speed. Tyreek Hill's born speed. He's always going to have speed. That's not on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there's a lot of times there's just kind of there are assumptions. Obviously, I don't think anyone thinks that Tua is anywhere near the quality quarterback and sort of proven winner that Patrick Mahomes is. That doesn't mean Tyreek Hill can't get things done this year and have a nice season. Honestly, the only thing I ever worry about with him is hamstring issues. His numbers may take a little bit of a dip, of course. I don't think that would be much of a surprise, but I think he's still going to break off some long runs. Some 60+ yard touchdown, even just from the mid range, and get lots of yak. But you just got lots of weapons there. I mean, Chase Edmonds, I think, is phenomenal. Raheem Mostert, if he's healthy, is fantastic. And then obviously Jalen Waddle can hold his own as a wide receiver 1. Probably see Jalen Waddle catch more passes, and they'll be pretty close in fantasy points. I wouldn't be all surprised. It may just come down to the touchdowns.
What? Okay. This is baffling to me. I know that he's talented and he put up a lot of numbers at Iowa State, but Breece Hall just went of the Jets rookie. Yeah. Last year, they had Michael Carter, who was a rookie that they liked, and he got some runs. So there's players in that backfield to think about, and I don't like to make assumptions about rookies that are going to come right in there and just, pow, be a fantasy stalwart from the get-go. I'm very suspect of that situation, at least in the running back department for the Jets.
Yeah, I mean they're seeing. I'm going to make my pick here and then talk about it. But
there he is. What's it going to be? The gut is on the clock. People are waiting around the world. There literally is an international audience waiting to find out which way the RotoGut goes.
All it takes for an international audience is just like one person in Australia watching this draft.
I'm in Canada. This thing's international already.
There we go. I'm thinking hard here while talking because I know the guy at 11 and I see a piece of what he has. and I'm thinking which I go first, if I go this or that. I'm going to take my chances. Let's see, pick 46 overall.
What will he do? This is intense. I like it.
Yeah, I'll explain. I think after this pick, my thought process here. But a few good options here. I think there was a RB3 that I was or as my RB3, who I think is an RB2, that was potential there. But I don't want to overload on running backs too early. There's kind of an ideal RB3, a few of them that I like in the 80 to 120 range overall. So I think I might wait there. But yeah, there it is. Cam Akers was the guy I was considering. I just didn't necessarily feel comfortable grabbing a third running back before my second receiver. And there were a lot of receivers on the board I would have considered.
That's fascinating because you and I talked earlier today about, the way you look at the board and the strategies that a lot of people go into, specifically NFFC drafts. And right now you got two running backs, you got two wide receivers. There's depth this year at one position over the other, in my opinion. I won't say which right now because we got a live draft going on. But when I look at the board right now and I only see two quarterbacks off the board, I do find that to be an interesting trend at the moment. I do.
Yeah, it's a very, very specific to NFFC. There's really no easy way to explain, or at least I don't know if I can. I think someone asked me earlier on Twitter, why I posted the first 5 rounds or first 6 rounds of all my picks, and it's like where the quarterback's going, especially if it's 6 points per pass. I don't know. It's just the way it goes. Everyone just kind of knows to push it. And that's what they do. Everybody kind of gets their guys. A lot of people play quarterback chicken. All of the sort of Russell Wilsons, Dak Prescotts of the world in some drafts, you can get them after pick 100. In others, you got to get them before pick 80. So it really all just it depends. This looks like a slow play on the quarterbacks, obviously, because there's only you got Allen and Herbert off the board here. And I may as well talk about it. I don't care. I mean, this is a guy I played against an NFBC and NFFC. He hasn't said say his name, so I'm not going to. But so I was thinking about Patrick Mahomes here, and I was looking at his Kelsey. I was thinking, does he want to pair his Kelsey with a Mahomes? Now I have a Juju that I can add with my Mahomes. I don't necessarily want to get too stack happy just for the hell of it. So I'm thinking here, Mahomes in general is a good pick at 51. But when I start seeing even Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, if those guys are going 140 and I spend a 50th on Mahomes, I don't know if that's really worth the difference. So it's maybe better for me to stack elsewhere. So I'm going to make a quick decision here. Running backs, not interested in anyone. Quarterbacks, a bunch of guys I like. Tight ends, a little bit too early for me on these guys. I do like Kittle, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to go with another receiver, and I got 8 seconds. And man, I've been taking a lot of Bateman, but I might just do it again. I'm really a big fan.
Oh,
you know what,
counts, folks.
Screw it. I just clicked on Mahomes. I don't have any Mahomes. Let's just get him in there.
Shocking.
Mahomes.
I really did think you'd do it. I know you talked it out there in real time, and I didn't really think you were going to pull the trigger. I find that to be a bit of a surprise, folks. What I know about Vlad, and we've talked about strategy over the last 48 hours since I've joined the FTN team, that is fascinating. There goes Bateman right after that. So.
Yeah, so as I was talking, there's also a million things going on in my head. It's like, yes, I should. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, our guy, Matt. You don't mind, Matt, if I talk about you, but anyways, our friend Matt, if he wants to say, I could say his last name, but he just said in our draft chat, I left you Mahomes, Vlad, so he knows. But yeah, what was going on in my head was Bateman dealing with a minor injury. That's not a reason for me to really avoid him, but the fact that I already have, I think, 2 or 3 shares in my first 5 teams, maybe I should lay off the Bateman a little bit. Didn't know if I would be able to get Lamar Jackson later to pair with him. I don't necessarily need the stack. You don't need a stack. I think that's something we just kind of get excited about. It's like, hey, if you get your quarterback with your receiver and they happen to go off in week 17 when you really need them and you win 250K, yeah, sure, that's all great. But you also want to build the best team overall based on what's happening in the draft at the time. And I guess my gut was Mahomes. Screw it. I just got my quarterback. I don't have to worry about the position for quite got a good one. So why not?
Yeah, you sure did. There's no doubt about it. Those of you that are just joining us, we're doing a live draft here. Beat the Gut is happening. It's the NFFC Online Championship. $250,000 grand prize is now at stake in this draft. I'm observing and hosting in my FTN debut. It's great to be here. Everybody in the live chat, you guys are killing it. Keep them coming. Yes, this is a one quarterback league, Mark. Just want to verify that. He asked that question. And Chris, Chris Meany loves to start, Vlad. What a shocker.
Meany's here. Wow, we got Benny. We got a lot of people here late at night. East Coasters too. This is very. We're very honored. We very much appreciate you guys. Everybody being here.
Thank you so much.
By the way, regarding Breece Hall earlier, I have not been clicking his name very often. I'm not afraid of. I am kind of, as I get older, I feel like you sort of avoid risk more. Even though maybe you should take on risk more, just because you're closer to the end, whatever. But
Julio Rodriguez in baseball. I think of that. That's an example.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Zeke Elliott, absolutely, smash return first round value in his first season. What was it, 2016, whatever it was.
Yep.
And it happens, right? I mean, there's one running back that is going in the top 80. That's a rookie, and it's only Breece Hall, and it's very clear that he's going to be their primary guy. They've got a nice balance there. Their defense is not, I don't think, what it used to be from a few seasons ago. They're not getting very even drafted in NFFC, to be honest. But adding Garrett Wilson, obviously 10th overall pick. You've already got Elijah Moore here in the mix, popular guy. I believe he's already been taken or will be soon. Corey Davis is now like the 3. They added CJ Uzomah. Tyler Conklin's in the mix, and then Michael Carter, like the guy they drafted last year, is now their basically third down guy. But Breece Hall is going to get a lot of work. He's going to be really solid. The problem is he's usually drafted around guys like Zeke, Akers, and James Conner, who I don't know, just have a little bit. I know their track record, and yeah, a lot of it comes down to like offensive line as well, and game script and things like that. Like if Breece Hall is not going, if the Jets are going to be losing a lot of games, and he's not going to be the third down back and catching all that garbage passes, receptions, and racking up the fantasy points, these other guys in offenses where they're always running and getting a lot of carries, to me, are a little bit more valuable.
Yes, sir. We got a comment over here from Jay Wimmers. What's up, Jay? Vlad, what are you expecting for Juju this season?
I expect. What do I expect from Juju? He kind of gets a bad rap, and it's because of the way things shook out for them last couple of years with a noodle arm Ben Roethlisberger, and everybody concerned about his yards after the catch and just a low ADOT guy and all this stuff. Guess it was a low ADOT guy 2 years ago, Deebo Samuel, my friends.
Ooh,
right. There isn't going to be that much. He's no Tyreek Hill. I think many people know that. And Mahomes is going to spread it out so much, it's going to hurt. If you're playing DFS and you're chasing the Juju game, it's going to be Marquez Valdes-Scantling the next, and then Sky Moore the next, and then Kelsey. They have so many weapons. Kansas City is going to be phenomenal again this year. I think going to get a lot of catches from him. I think I've got something like 90, 1050, and 7 for Juju. So I think that's a pretty solid season. So I do like him very much, and I think around where he goes is a pretty good range.
Yeah, I don't know how many times last year I did the chasing of Pringle or Hedman back and forth. It was just becoming a chaotic experience for me in DFS. So I know exactly what you speak of in that KC wide receiver situation. By the way, I think team number 3 has a fascination with the last name Moore. 2 Moores on team 3. Elijah just went, and he also took DJ Moore in round 3. By the way, DJ Moore, love DJ Moore. I have a little bit of a Maryland bias sometimes. I lived there for a bit. I kind of fell in love with the area. But DJ Moore is a speedster from the heaven. He a gift from the gods, and I expect him to probably have his best season yet. I really do.
Yeah, so all right, here I go. I'm back on the clock, and the problem is now that I have a quarterback, this is where I would have gotten my Jalen Hurts to pair with A.J. Brown, and Kyler Murray still on the board, obviously solid. So I'm off the quarterbacks. Running backs, I'm essentially looking at J.K. Dobbins here, but I am concerned the team does not want him out there yet. I'm afraid he might miss the first few games of the season. Tight end, it's a little bit too early for me. I'm just looking at my targets here. Trevor Tipton, you bastard. You took Kadarius Toney from me. Sorry, don't mean to offend you with the curse words. Man, who do I like?
What
who do I have on my list here? Because they took Burks. They took Oh, you know
Oh,
what? Let's
love
go
perks.
with. All right, this might be a little early, but I'm gonna take.
Premature selection?
Yeah, yeah.
Ow! Whoa!
I
Wow.
wanted one. I wanted a slice. I wanted a little bit of Brandon Ayuk here.
Well, that's right
He,
around ADP the last couple of days, 72 over the last 48 hours.
yeah. And what's his? I'm trying to find where he's at on my other screen. He's high of 68, low of 78 over the last couple of days. So yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
I didn't have any shares yet. I think he's kind of there. I think he's the guy that could have a sneaky double-digit touchdown season, 1,010. I think it's in the range of outcomes here. All depends on Lance.
All depends on Lance. I was a huge Ayuk fan last year. Some challenges along the way there. Lost favor apparently there with old Shanny. You never know what Shanny's going to do week to week with running backs, but it also happened with wide receivers as well. So I like the pick. I think it's an offense that still is very much organized, cohesive. They know what they want to do. And I feel like Ayuk seems higher based on what I experienced last year. But if this is where he's going and everybody's expecting him to do what you're saying he will do, I'll buy it. I respect you.
Yeah, there's definitely a most of the people that are drafting at this time in FFC, I know people say it's kind of niche or whatever, but like the people that are drafting OCs at this time are a lot of the guys that have played here for a long time, who've won a lot of money, who've won the overall titles here, and these are the people I'm drafting against. So, and it just sort of seeps into your head, right? Even though you feel like you know your stuff. When you see people making moves and pushing certain guys up, it does sort of get in your head or makes you want to look into them and
there goes
figure
Hurts.
things out.
And you're on the clock, my man.
I'm up. Oh, thank you. Man, what would I do without you? I'd be timing out every time.
What would we do, baby, without... Look, that was the first running back, Miles Sanders, the last pick. There was no running back taken in the previous round, so it had been a minute.
You know what's funny? Miles Sanders was who I was going to pick. And then I take the receiver on the way back.
Ooh,
Okay,
I love
30
Miles
seconds.
Sanders. That breakaway speed, big playability. If they can get a consistent output with the touches and opportunities, I agree all the way. Sky's the limit.
All right.
20 seconds for Vlad Sedler. Beat the gut. $250,000 on the line right here. Vlad wants that money too, okay? He's not sitting this one out. He's here for a reason, folks.
I'll take you know what? I'll take a shot on Dobbins. If I don't have to, I don't need him in the first few weeks. I got my running back set. If he ends up being an RB3, comes back week 4 or 5, I'm fine with it. If I have him healthy for the second half of the season, I'll be fine. So we're running this one a little different.
Yeah, okay. You remind everybody what the standard lineup looks like, just so people that are maybe new to this know. You get one utility, or how does that work?
Yeah, one
flex spot.
Yeah,
I call it utility. That's a baseball man in me. Sorry about that.
I'm still in baseball mode as well. You start. So it's 20 rounds. You start 10. Quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, tight end, flex of your choosing, not a quarterback, so it would only be tight end, running back, or wide receiver, and then team kicker, which they changed 2 seasons ago, and team defense. The team kicker thing is nice. You're not kind of worrying about kickers. I don't think Jake Seeley would still play, with team kickers, but still, it's better than kickers. So he would be happy with that at least. But yeah, so 10 bench spots and kind of mix and match those whichever way you want. Deep benches means you can kind of just stash some upside and just make sure you're able to field a healthy lineup every week, and then weekly free agent bidding. So every Wednesday night runs Fab. I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern, and you get 1,000 fake dollars to begin the season with, and then you just kind of spend them as you go. And traditionally in NFFC and high stakes is a lot of money spent early, just based on starting running back gets hurt, and somebody's sitting there on the waiver wire, a backup running back who has a potential to be an RB2 or something like that. Those guys will go for like $600-700. So people spend a lot of their money early in this format.
Make it rain. We're in round 7 right now, for those of you that are watching. Round 7, we just had a slew of running backs. Josh Jacobs just went. A lot of controversy about Josh Jacobs playing in the first preseason game in the Hall of Fame game last night. Oh, my God. What will he do? I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. I don't know what the uproar is personally. I know you don't want injuries, and I know it's pointless to play in the preseason most of the time, especially for a guy of his stature. But
yeah, I think people kind of jump on narratives. It's the fact that this new regime didn't draft them. Then they added 2 running backs in this draft, and Samir White looks good and everything. But the fact of the matter is, You got, for whatever reason, over preseason stuff that happens in the preseason, people read too much into it, and great players end up falling back. Like, you've got this little range of guys that were basically first round, second round picks last year. I'm talking about Antonio Gibson and Miles Sanders. And all of a sudden, a little bit of camp news, or they're not running with the first team for one practice. All of a sudden, they're falling. Nobody wants a piece of them. I mean, think about how good Miles Sanders is as a breakaway speed. I understand he had no touchdowns last season. It was just, kind of a bad spot for him. There was going to be some positive regression there. Antonio Gibson, yeah, they got McKissick. He's more of a third down back, or when they're playing from behind. And then obviously they got Brian Robinson, who still kind of needs to work his way in there, but it's still Antonio.
Jared Patterson. Jared Patterson. I love Jared Patterson. Sorry. He sneaks in there sometimes.
Is he still around? Is he trying to make the team?
I think he's going to hang around there. As of now, he's still on the roster. He's a rookie out of Buffalo last year, who I thought might get some more run in year 2, but it's going to be a crowded backfield in Washington, no doubt about it.
I think I bid on him and won him 3 times last year. It was like, oh, it's finally going to be Jared Patterson week, and he was just like my 7th guy in my bid pool. And I got him for like $6 and then dropped him. And then, hey, it's be Jared Patterson week, and then dropped him. And I don't know if there was a Jared Patterson week last year. I can't quite recall.
Was that the first Chicago Bear off the board in round 7? Yeah. David Montgomery?
If Mooney isn't gone, Mooney should be gone. So that's probably the second.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mooney. Yep, thanks. That's right. I'm an NFC North guy, live here in Detroit area, so I know that division pretty well. The Bears, I like Justin Fields this year, the quarterback, but as a team overall, I'm concerned about what they're going to be able to produce with a new coach, new regime, weird transitionary things going on there. So, yeah, it's not surprising that very few Bears are off the board as we close out the end of round 7 with everybody's favorite, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Right. Yeah, I get so into it, and we're like talking about different topics, I kind of forget I'm in a draft. Plus, it's it's late. Not as late as it is for you, of course, but yeah, I gotta
I'm just getting started, man. Like, I'm in the night owl. Get out of here.
I gotta stay sharp, stay focused. For drafting a live stream team, I don't think it's too bad. I think it's pretty much probably what I would do anyways, or maybe a couple. Like, I would not change the Cook pick, the Swift pick, the Brown. There were different directions you could have gone there. Juju, I was content with. Ayuk felt good at that spot, and then Dobbins. That was a tough position too, because you're thinking about potentially going 4th receiver, which is, hey, it's never too early. We see, you can take your fourth receiver by your 6th pick, no problem. It's just about how you balance the draft as you go. Hopefully, boy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to go back real quick. Your last pick there, you took Dobbins. Right after him went Damian Harris. Was there any consideration there that maybe you take Harris, or is it a big difference in your mind?
So. No, I would not have, because I have him in the next tier. So that actually was an early pick for Harris, I believe, because his ADP is around 100, and it's even kind of shifting with Ramondre Stevenson. Some people like him more. The problem with Damian Harris is it's not really catch passes. One of the few backs that may not catch 20 plus passes. We're talking PPR here, so not ideal. I think I have one Harris, and I think it's when I got him like at 120 overall. He just completely fell. I'm like, I'm going to just snap him up here.
Yeah, 70, 130 min-max on Harris over the last 8 or so drafts. Remember, we're doing ADP since August 4th, which was just the other day. So if you want to follow along with that, you can go to the NFFC's website and update it from August 4th to today, and you'll be following along with the same ADP that we currently are following ourselves. And there goes Ramondre. Okay.
Yeah. And Bob, obviously, sharp drafter. He knows what's up. So Bob is scooping him up there. A really nice team he has so far.
Yeah, he's got 4 running backs now. It's official. Barkley, Kamara, Etienne. Bounce. I'm really interested to see what Etienne does this year and how that looks for him in Jacksonville. New coach, new beginnings. There's talent at quarterback. There's talent on that side of the ball for Jacksonville. Don't be dismissive.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my list here, and what I have planned per position, and basically all the guys are gone. So like Edmonds, guys I would take as my RB3, Edmonds, Pollard, Singletary, all those guys are off the board. So I'm not interested in running back here. I'd consider those guys at the next turn, probably the 10-11 turn. And tight end, unfortunately, somebody stole TJ Hawkinson, who I absolutely love. I've just been smashing that Hawk button anytime I can. I do expect a nice little bounce back if he's healthy this season, but
so which way are you going to go here, dude? I'm dying to know.
I know I'm on the clock. I'm just kind of talking it through, and I'm sorry I'm kind of holding people back.
No, I never want I don't want to screw you over. That's all.
2 receivers I'm staring at here. I'll just take a guy I like. I just keep drafting him everywhere. I don't care if he's on a bad team. He's still going to get a lot of love. Reception-wise, it's Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, you definitely are reading the room properly because I feel like there is no faith. In fact, it's not even a secret. Nobody has faith in Seattle's quarterback situation with Drew Lock and old man time Geno Smith hanging around. That is not a fun place to be, especially with Pete Carroll still being the head coach, who seems to have lost his way and maybe never really was what you would call a rock-solid offensive coach. His defense is always his hallmark, and that's what he did best, and that's how he won a Super Bowl.
Fact, Geno Smith is older than Washington's Nelson Cruz. I'm kidding. It's not true. He's only 31. Geno's 31.
Hey, the gut doesn't just draft and win money. He does jokes, too.
I do joke.
Oh, Cordarrelle Patterson. There he goes at the end of round 8. And that's going to mean you're up in 2 picks here. Mm-hmm. Patterson's a guy that I don't think what you saw last year was a fluke at all. It's very much what he's always been capable of. A absolutely explosive dude with the ball in his hands. That's why he was more of a specialist. He couldn't catch very well as a wide receiver, and that's how he came into the league. But once Arthur Smith, really applied his running back skills, he showed us what he was made of. He was incredible last year. He was a real gift for anybody who drafted him.
Yes. And they got the rookie Tyler Algier there. And so obviously Patterson may take a little bit of a back seat. I think a lot of people seem to be off of him. That's one of the higher picks I've seen on him, but I like him. I'm a fan. So I'm on the clock here. I've got 4 receivers. I got 3 running backs. I don't have a tight end. I'm not going to get a quarterback, obviously not a defense. And Sky Moore was just taken.
What will it be? This is the exciting part, folks. Watching a real-time draft selection with Vlad Sedler, Michael Govier. We're live here, FTN stream of Beat the Gut, $250,000 overall prize, 12 teams per league.
All right, skipping the running back here. I'm not going to take Goddard, even though that's intriguing. Let's see. Let's go. What's the gut? The gut's just going to be like, I'm just going to stack Mahomes. I'm going to just take Sky Moore. They say MVS has been the best guy in camp so far. It's a long season, but I think he's going to have a nice little connection. Hit some deep balls from Patrick Mahomes.
I got scarred badly last year by MVS. There was some real opportunities for him to score big touchdowns in moments against bad teams like my Bozo Lions last year. I remember that Monday night game, and Aaron Rodgers missed 2 passes, 2 great throws that were just a bit too far ahead. Would have been instant touchdowns for MVS. So I still remember that. It makes me sad.
Yes, because I had him as my captain in a
showdown?
Showdown. Yep. Needed him to connect. He was a low percentage captain, I think, too. So
I love picking those captains. It's such a fun game. I can't wait for this NFL season to get going. DFS is my favorite thing now about fantasy football. It really is. I love season long. I've always played it. I'm doing a Devy League this year. I'm down with all of it,
awesome.
But DFS is taking it to another level. It's so much fun, and it feels like you got a shot every week. It's once a week. I mean, we got 3 nights. We got Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays, but it always feels like I can win that Millie Maker. I could do that. It's not like trying to win the lotto, but that's not always the case.
This is true. Did you play? Did you try to get some of them billions?
We were driving down to Georgia, so we thought we were in an advantageous situation because we were cutting through a bunch of states. So every state we stopped at, the drawing was actually that night last Friday. So we bought 3 different tickets in 3 different states, and we're like, we're gonna win. I'm sure of it.
It's the way to do it, man. You just got to hit all the states, especially if you're one of those where you got like the 4 corners.
Yes.
Unfortunately, California. I can go to different 7-Elevens, but I did not buy tickets. I should have.
I never play, but hey, every once in a while you got to take a ride. My dad used to call it a stupid tax, which I find to be just a crass, rude thing to say. My father, you're better than that, Dad. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there's different ways of putting it. It's definitely a waste of money until you're the person that wins. But if you're not like 90-year-old Betty in middle America, you're not going to win. So
wait, can we talk about my dad some more?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we're getting towards the end of this round. There goes Dak Prescott and Trey Lance back to back.
We actually have a pause in the draft. There was a misclick. Yeah, so we got a misclick. So I believe
breaking the action.
Someone is coming off the board, and it's going to be Melvin Gordon.
There it is. Okay.
All right.
So Take that Prescott pick back. He's still in the pool, folks, if you're scoring at home.
So I'm going to look at these teams. I want to have a little bit of a analysis and just see kind of what's interesting or different here.
Yeah. What do you see?
I mean, the beauty of these every draft is just kind of its own different animal. You can look at every single team and find it's like anything in life, right? You find beauty and ugliness in everything. It's just
the plastic bag from American Beauty. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Don't go there. But yeah, like for example, it's obviously like pretty if you have like the kind of like the colors, like Team 7, right? You got the three green and the 4 yellows, and you move into different things, and it's like Matty Davis does. He's like painting the board, like the
Bob Ross.
Yes, yeah, like Bob Ross.
Beautiful. Team 5 when Team 5 likes yellow. 5 wide receivers in the first 6 picks there. Chase, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Brown, Brandon Cooks, and Kadarius Toney, all talented players. I don't know if I like that route though in this type of league. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, and that's the team that's called Vlad's going down. So we'll see about that. Oh, he is hoarding good relievers, like people that I like and would take. But he may have a pickle. Trevor may have a pickle deciding each week on the RB2. Let's see who else he adds to this team. But like week to week, you kind of have a tough decision, and you know what I mean. Like team 7, 8, 9, they're pretty much they know who they're starting at RB1, RB2 every week, and then Team 7 is going to most likely be popping in at FTN at flex every week. So you kind of know how your lineup is shaking out at that point.
Yeah, Mark in the live chat says that he likes Team 7, especially if you are someone that is going to play multiple OCs. Yeah. Could we extrapolate on that? What does that mean exactly?
Oh, he means that Bob's a high volume player. So Bob, I think, drafted 90 NFFC teams this season, only like 30 fab or something like that. But he'll probably draft a lot of football ones too. So it's when you might draft like 10, 20 OCs, you kind of want to do different things, right? It's just different than if it's just your one draft of the year. So you really kind of want to spread things out. And I mean, I think that's a beautiful build so far. I dig it.
Wow, he digs it here. We're live at our live stream. Me and Vlad Sedler. Make sure you follow Vlad on Twitter at RotoGut. I'm at MJ Govier. If you're ever on Twitter, pop over there and follow us. Of course, FTN Fantasy, that's the place to be. You want to follow FTN on Fantasy, DFS, all kinds of great stuff brewing at the FTN Network.
Yeah. People, if you, my friends, if you are into daily fantasy, we're going to have a kick-ass product. We have an amazing team, and ftndaily.com is the site there. We have a discount going on right now, and hop in right now. I think we're 20% off what the regular price is going to be. So FTN Daily, play some DFS with us. We're gonna make some money. We're going to be buying Bentleys. How's that sound?
How about a Maybach? Can I get a Maybach? Would that be fine?
Yes, I think that's like even crazier, right? I think that's like
it is. I'm not a car maniac, but I definitely think you're right about that. As we closed out round 9, we're officially in round 10 now as Darrell Henderson goes off the board for Chowdhury. Interesting. Darrell Henderson, man, I loved what he brought to the table as a guy who could catch the ball and run the ball, but it's very obvious now that Cam Akers is the guy. Is he straight up more talented than Henderson, or is it just because Akers is the chosen one?
I think Henderson is really good, and obviously in that system, things just work. It's a solid offensive line. It's amazing offense, and obviously got receivers stretch the field, take attention away from the running back. I think Akers is very much more talented, but this was one of the big breaks last season because around this time last season, I was drafting a lot of Akers, and towards the end of the first round, then he got hurt. He was out, essentially planned to be for the year, and that Darrell Henderson shot up, right? So the people that were drafting Henderson in the 15th round of drafts, all of a sudden he's a 5th rounder that earned a lot of value there. And Henderson did have some really solid weeks last year. So he's solid, just not a pure RB1, especially when you got somebody like Akers there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We're continuing forth here on the draft, and I see right now some opportunities for. We were talking before. There will be some more quarterback opportunities. The ones that you were talking about later in the draft. You chose to go the Mahomes route this time, but there are some guys that you were talking about that I think we'll see come off the board here in the next round or two because there's still at least one team without a quarterback right now.
Yeah,
Three teams at least.
This is what we were talking about. It's really wild. This is when you feel bad about spending a 50th round pick. I mean, you're getting a top 4 quarterback. You hope that they're going to average over, between 28, 30 points a game. But these guys like Prescott and Brady, Brady was averaging 30 fantasy points a game last season within this scoring format. Prescott was averaging 28. Aaron Rodgers was even at 28, even if you assume he goes down to 25. Matthew Stafford was at 27. So yeah, there's a reason why people are waiting. Really sharp people are waiting on a quarterback.
Yeah, you're talking about running back battle. There's also some fun running back battles brewing in the league this year. We talked about New England's a bit there. We got Stevenson versus Harris. They're both gone. There's also interesting situation brewing in Buffalo. I can't wait to see how some of those shake out. Those aren't the biggest headlines in camp for me, but they're certainly running back committee-wise some of the more intriguing.
Indeed. So it looks like I'm looking at tight end here, and Ertz keeps falling. I don't know something wrong with him. I know he's got like a little calf something, but it's August 4th. I'm not really concerned about that. I think he's part of a good offense. Yeah, min 85, max 117. So this would be beyond the max. I do like him more than other tight ends here. I do need a tight end. I could use another running back. So now I'm going to look at the board. I'm going to see what team 11 and 12 have to try to figure out which way I should go first. I got 20 seconds. I see 11 is loaded. He's probably going to get a running back soon and a quarterback. Oh, no, he has a quarterback. So I'm looking at Ertz. I will wait on the receivers, and hopefully he does not take somebody I have in mind afterwards. But yeah, let's do it. Let's go Zach Ertz here. And I'll grab another tight end later.
Okay. Dawson Knox went right before that, too. I was thinking, boy, I'd like to have Knox as a starter. You would have? Yep.
Yeah, I would have taken Dawson Knox. He's going to have some really big spike games like we saw. Well, I think he had a 3-touchdown game or at least a couple 2-touchdown games. Like you're going to see some more of that this year. I do not expect Buffalo's offense to be as dynamic or as good as they were last season. I think a lot of these guys are pretty kind of top priced. They're obviously going to still be a phenomenal offense.
You think it because Daboll's leaving or just...
That's a part of it, but I just think they just excelled so well. I think there's going to be obviously adding Jamison Crowder. It's all right, and marginal move there. James Cook should be pretty solid. Yeah, they'll be great, but I don't think they'll be. Yeah, so team 12, we know him too. I forgot what he's on Twitter, but yeah, he took my running back. Bastard.
Oh, there goes Gainwell. Oh, you would have took Gainwell, and then there's Khalil Herbert, who was a surprise appearance in 2021, had a couple of decent weeks there, filling in for David Montgomery.
Yeah, so now, okay, I got to think about it. So you keep talking, I'm going to make my pick.
Don't forget, you guys can chat on the right side here. We got chats galore. I like that. FFC you later. That's a great handle, by the way. I just need one guy to hit at RB2, and I'm way ahead on wide receiver. Haven't really done this build on NFFC.
That's Team 5 guy. That's Team 5 guy.
Hey, Team 5 guy. That's a great handle. FFC you later. Trevor. Well done. All right, Vlad is now on the clock here. He's got 50 seconds. What is he going to do?
Man, I could double up on QB, but I'm not going to do it. Then I'm just I'm going to put myself in a pickle where I'm picking, between like Mahomes or Prescott. I'm going to let those guys go. The problem is the running backs just, they stink here. Like I want to almost wait another set of picks to take someone. And everybody that I wanted was taken. My Dalvin Cook backup is gone. Madison, Isaiah Spiller is gone. I don't want to press it on Carter. There's no reason for me to get the running back from my same team that I have a stack of, which is Jones. So I'm just going to draft a receiver.
Oh, okay. He's going receiver. Jalen Tolbert. There it is.
For share.
Nice. We talked about him earlier today when we were going over the show that Tolbert has an opportunity in Dallas this year. And if the Vlad himself is making it happen on a live stream like this, that means I'm a believer. I'm instantly more of a believer just because you drafted him. That's how much I respect you.
I mean,
I'm not paid to say that either, guys. I'm not.
No, he's not. I mean, listen. How much do I really know? I mean, you were much more of a college guy than I am, so I'm sure obviously you know more or have seen Jalen Tolbert play more. But someone needs to step up in that offense, right? You have a very, very good team that's just a little bit shy in receiver. I was intimating that somebody like Will Fuller would be a really nice addition to this team because they are short. They have Michael Gallup may not be ready. Gallup himself says he will not be ready for week 1. You've got James Washington torn ACL, I believe is what it is. So, I mean, Tolbert steps in as the number 2 immediately, and a phenomenal offense could pay off.
Yeah, Tolbert was a lesser-known player coming out of college because he played at South Alabama in the Sun Belt, a smaller conference, in big-time college football still. But I'm looking forward to see what he can do. Can it translate immediately? Is the hype the reality? Hey, I cannot wait for the season to start. This is why I love doing this. There's so many names, there's so much action, so much excitement brewing. I get too excited here, and I need to calm down. I need to decompress, guys. Sorry.
Well, yesterday, let me tell you something. I had McCaffrey with my what was it, pick 2. So I took McCaffrey, and the number 1 rule, if you have McCaffrey this season in drafts, you get Donta Foreman. If it means you're paying, a higher cost and you're just, busting ADP to get him, you do it. That's what Team 4 just did. They grabbed him at pick 129 in round 11. I was in the exact same situation, but it was pick 131, and I knew I should have taken Foreman, and I didn't. I said, I'm going to push it one more time around the draft, hoping he comes back. He was 2 away. I don't know. I don't think the person did it to bust me. Obviously Foreman, I think has some standalone value, but that's what you get. You play the chicken and it hurts. So if something happens to McCaffrey and I don't have Foreman there who could step in and be an RB, borderline RB1, RB2, then I blew it. So back up your McCaffreys with your Foremans. Highly
blew it. I'll tell you, would we classify Jalen Tolbert as a hyped guy this year? He's among a crop of people that are like, oh, he's hyped. He's getting a lot of hype, and we don't know what we're going to get exactly, but he's in that hype zone.
I got accolades in the draft chat room for him. So, well, it was from a colleague. It was from Sam. He said good pick, but he was gonna take him there. So that always makes you feel better. Someone else is gonna take the guy you took. It feels good.
Validation is fantastic. It can do wonders for your self-esteem, folks. No doubt about it.
So we are running through. So we're planning to stay on with you guys for an hour. So we can run through one more round here. Let's run it through the rest of round 12. How's that sound, Mike?
That sounds fantastic, my friend. Let's do it. Justin Fields was the last pick of round 11, and I think there's going to be a lot of fun what was it called? We talked about that earlier. Who was the guy? He said Konami code quarterbacks, guys that can make it happen on the ground. Fields is going to make it happen much more on the ground this year. I'm very confident in that, but that's about all I'm confident in Fields. Yeah,
I mean, last season, especially, I think people were playing DFS, and he was just so cheap, and you just, I don't know, just so many times you just see Allen Robinson disinterested, him not able to hit Mooney. Like when he first, finally started to get starts, just nothing was happening for him. The offense was just absolutely putrid. It was really tough to watch. You assume that they'll take a little bit of a step up, but who's going to do it, right? I mean, you got Cole Kmet had no touchdowns this season. You expect him to kind of step up, be a big target for him. Darrell Mooney, I think, is in the wide receiver 2 conversation. I think he should be pretty solid. But beyond that, who knows? Byron Pringle, Velus
they brought
Jones.
Pringle in.
I mean, I don't know.
Not exciting. I admit that freely. We got Sober Money in the live chat. He has Jerry Jeudy in a Dynasty League. That's great news. Congratulations. Any ideas what I could get, or maybe what round pick I could trade for if it's PPR and I need a running back for Jerry Jeudy?
For Jerry Jeudy, so the fact that Tim Patrick is now out for the year, I think boosts his value a little bit. He was kind of the forgotten man in the conversation of receivers, and obviously he's quite talented. He's going to work out of the slot, which is where Tyler Lockett played last season for all these seasons with Russell Wilson. So I think he is solid. You're looking at a return of I don't know. I don't think you can get like an ETN or obviously like a Connor or anyone like that. I think you could potentially get like a Chubb, maybe a Zeke, maybe an Akers, but more likely the people, that's who you should shoot for. But more likely people will try to give you like a AJ Dillon, David Montgomery type for him.
Yeah. Well, they're always going to lowball you at first. That's just how it works. So you never be offended, folks. Never be offended at a trade offer. It's not personal. It's just negotiating. Oh, there goes Wan'Dale Robinson, the rookie for the Giants, a guy that I saw play at Nebraska. Shorter side, but an absolute burner on the field, no doubt about it.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, all right, let me look because I'm on the clock here. I really should start planning my picks before. But hey, live TV, let's do it. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Try not to yell at my kid, kids sleeping upstairs, So, well, I don't have running backs, right? I have like my number 3 is injured, and they're almost gone, to be honest. So I'm just gonna click my auto button, and I do this all the time. I'm gonna do it again, and I don't care. Raheem Mostert. It's my boy.
What? I mean, the guy is just a walking injury. It's so sad. He's so talented, and he can give you a full season's load, but it never seems to happen. It just doesn't seem to happen.
You know what? They said the same thing about Aaron Judge. They say the same thing about Carlos Correa. And eventually they have that full season. So hopefully this is it. Right? You keep buying back in.
It's low risk. It's round 12. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm with you there.
His ADP is moving up a little bit. And if you've noticed in these drafts, like these running backs, I mean, if you think of the quality of talent of receivers or quarterbacks that are available at this point compared to running backs, like right now we're looking at the dregs, right? These are like the backups. These are the guys that need someone to get hurt to have true opportunity to be like playable and startable week to week. So that's what we're talking about here. So for me, Chase Edmonds going to be the main guy there. I know they got Sonny Michel as well. But I'm
Hamler. Wow. Okay, Hamler closes out round 12. By the way, I think we both like Hamler. He's a speed demon who can make big plays downfield. With Russell Wilson throwing the bomb, that is a combo that I'm definitely interested in.
Isn't this crazy? The players the quarterbacks that are still available at this point, like makes me almost want to pick another one.
Let's do your one more pick and then we'll wrap it up here. But because I want to see you do one more, we're so close to it. Okay. I will tell you, unless you don't want to share it. I mean, I understand we can.
No.
It's getting late anyways. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Woo. But okay, KJ Osborne goes.
We will do, and the good thing is because Nelson's East Coast, so when you guys do future streams, you'll probably be doing them in an earlier hour, so you probably can do the whole thing, the whole drafts. He does midnight.
All right, Vlad.
Too, but all right.
Here we go. Well, I love midnight. It's fine. One for the road.
All right, one for the road. Probably could use.
There's a guy I'm thinking of. I think you should take him, but I can't say who it is, obviously. But I'm going to see if you do take him.
Why can't you tell me? I can consider him. Nobody will call it.
He's. Well, I can't say it. I mean,
okay, don't.
I can't give it away. Yeah. I'm just curious.
How many receivers do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't need another one yet.
Nope. No, sir.
All right. I'm just going to take another tight end that I love.
Yeah!
That was it?
Did you look at the private chat? Are you kidding me?
No, I didn't. I have the draft.
Oh my God. Look at the private chat. That's who I typed. I'm not even kidding. That is so funny, dude.
You and I meant to work together. Perfect.
Yes. I swear that's great. That is just a great way to end the show.
Excellent. Everybody,
I love Freiermuth. I love him.
Yes, he's someone's got to catch balls in Pittsburgh. Someone's got to do the work, right?
Yep.
So there it is. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We're here wrapping up this hour. We've got a few more rounds. I don't mind sharing the rest of my draft later. We'll do, but we're going to let all these guys here and gals finish it up. So thank you, everybody. For Michael Govier, I'm Vlad Sedler. Hope you enjoyed the FTN live stream, and you'll probably see Michael next week with Nelson in the draft. So thank you, and have a great weekend.